more. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth partying with the leftover guitar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. Stop up there. Here comes Knight in the Knicks winning. See you in Pittsburgh. Can't wait. All the band is out of the field. He's going to go into the end zone. Looking, throwing in the end zone.
You're tuned into Game On with Josh Silverberg. Talking all things sports. It's
Game on! Yeah, game on!
Game On, right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are live for our last and final show of 2025 here of Game On the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. I'm your host, Josh Silverberg. Of course, co-host, my father, Nelson Silverberg, joining us again. And somebody really wanted to make one last appearance before the end of the year. Can you
That's
get
right.
up here? Can you get up here or you can't? Okay. All right. Speedy Petey on the board.
Again.
Yes. Hopefully. Oh, you're a little closer, pal. How are you?
Good.
So
I have a microphone.
that's great. Unbelievable. We hope everybody's enjoying, trying to stay healthy all before the holidays and everything like that. You can check us out, of course, every single Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network on YouTube, Instagram, Periscope, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and worldwidesportsradio.com and everything of that nature. Well, I want to apologize for being out last week. Really quickly, we have a lot to get to this show. I know we have a hard stoppage at 7:10 because Jabba and the Mouth are coming up next. That is disgusting. Nobody wants to see that. Come on, this is the last show of the year. Let's make it nice, okay? Okay. Nobody wants to see you stuffing your marshmallow face. If you get this new flu variant, by the way, it is worse than COVID. I can tell you right now, both Caleb and, of course, my other son, Carter, my wife, and myself all had the flu literally the last 2 weeks. Poor Carter had 105 fever, and this one had 103 fever. Literally started
Papa.
Hey, honey. How you doing?
Good.
It started last Tuesday, the fever.
I saw you earlier.
And it started last Tuesday, and their fevers broke on Monday.
Hi.
You're leaving?
Yes, I'll see you later.
Okay. I'll see you later. Okay, bye.
I'll see you later.
Say bye, everybody. Say have a happy new year and a happy holiday.
Happy holiday.
Thank you.
Okay.
We'll see
Let me
Caleb
give a shout out. I got to give a shout out to Sarah Lasanti, who I just got off the phone with, so she asked me to give her a shout out. She's a viewer. She's a viewer. So what am I going to do?
Okay, thank you, Caleb. I'm gonna tell you really quickly, since he got this flu, the maturity on this kid is impeccable.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
Let me ask you, weeks ago, he's staying here the whole show, right? Now this time it's okay, I'll see you later. I'm gonna lock the door for you so nobody comes in.
He just doesn't care about you that much anymore, that's all.
Yeah, maybe possibility. But we have but the flu was awful. I mean, the fact that the kids had fevers for that long. And there's really not much you can really do about it. I mean, we didn't give Tamiflu because it messes with stomachs, and it was brutal. It was horrible. Finally, both kids are better right before the holidays. Everybody is healthy. Everybody's good. And yes, a shout out to Sarah, of course. I didn't talk to her, but wanted to chime in on that. But we have a lot to get to tonight. We're going to discuss NFL Week 16. Great matchup tonight. Seahawks, Rams. Big matchup, actually, with playoff implications. We'll get into a lot of rough injuries that happened last week that just really derailed one team's season and might have derailed another team's season going forward. We'll get into that. We'll get into the MLB offseason so far. It's been a whirlwind. It's been crazy. So on and so forth. We'll touch on the football playoff, which begins tomorrow night, by the way, with Alabama and Oklahoma. That starts tomorrow. I really didn't. We'll get into the NBA play. What's it called? The Cup. What are the in-season tournament? What's the next one?
Emirates Cup.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know if it's called that. Is that what it is? I don't even know. I think that trophy's bigger than the NBA than the Larry O'Brien trophy.
Right.
It's interesting, but the reason I played that song, and for those of you that do not know, Saturday night, and I wanted to touch on this last week, but Saturday night was the end of, I want to say it was 24-year wrestling career of John Cena. And people say, when you look at wrestlers in the 80s, you think of Hulk Hogan. When you think of wrestlers in the 90s, the face, you could go Shawn Michaels, or you could go Stone Cold Steve Austin. When you think of the 2000s era, you think of John Cena, and everything that has accomplished in his time as not even just as a wrestler. I mean, you have to remember, he is number one all time for the most Make-A-Wish Foundation request. That's how popular John Cena is. He's doing movies now. He's doing all this. He won the 17th World Championship at WrestleMania earlier in the year, which beat Ric Flair's record, which will never be broken. I don't see anybody ever doing that. But to me, I look at John Cena just as it was a very polarizing figure in a sense, because it was always the women and children would cheer for John Cena, but the older adults, right, the male figure would boo him. Right? That was always the thing, and everything of that nature. And I'm glad, Dad, you're here tonight for this, because it was interesting in the sense of, I sent you a picture Saturday.
Yeah.
And it was a picture from March 14th, 2004. And the picture was from WrestleMania 20 at Madison Square Garden. And I was a kid in 7th grade with a Word Life John Cena with the hands like this sign that I drew. And the first thing my father took me to the show, and the first thing he said to me was, "You're really going to carry that thing around with you all night?" And I said, "Yes." And then we got to the show, and then they moved us because our tickets were behind the stage. Yeah, we were sitting in like the upper deck, and then we wound up getting like the twos center. And we saw, and I bring this up not just because it was John Cena, but I bring it up because that was John Cena's first ever WrestleMania match. And it was against the Big Show for the United States Championship, and it kicked off the night. And the crowd was going nuts for John Cena with the word life, thugonomics, all this and everything like that. And it's crazy how he came out in the Patrick Ewing jersey, and you've seen the character grow, right? And he's everybody knows who he is. The hustle, loyalty, respect. And people always say, John's gonna come, he'll wrestle again. But the thing about John Cena is John Cena is a person that gives his word. Kind of like Sting gives his word. He won't wrestle anymore.
But Sting did wrestle a lot after he gave his word. Yeah.
No. He didn't say he was ever retired. They tried to force him to retire, and WWE wasn't going to. So he went to AEW. But once Sting stopped last year, he hasn't wrestled in 2 years. Kurt Angle retired. He said, I can't do it anymore. Kurt Angle retired. Shawn Michaels can't do it anymore. Said, I'm done. I'm out. You got guys like Ric Flair and at the time Hulk Hogan that tried to just keep it going for themselves and everything of that nature. And, to me, Stone Cold said, I'm done. I can't do it. Certain guys now John Cena will make appearances, but he will no longer be wrestling. And it's crazy because I was telling my dad about it. I said that was, certain things. That was John Cena was my childhood as a kid in middle school and high school and college. I just don't. I think of WWE. I think the first thing I think of is John Cena. And people say to me, well, would you put John Cena on your Mount Rushmore of wrestlers? No, I would not. Would I put him in my Mount Rushmores of entertainers in the sport of professional wrestling who left a mark on the sport? 1,000%. You don't just be the Make-A-Wish Foundation leader in the world. And remember, there's a billion people, actors, actresses, athletes all over the place, politicians, anything that can be asked to do the Make-A-Wish. He's number one. And that is an incredible accomplishment for somebody that really have the kind of character that John Cena is. And do I question how it ended the Saturday against Gunther with the tap out? I was surprised. I mean, I didn't think he was going to win, but I was surprised he tapped out. But I was at Kurt Angle's final match at WrestleMania, and he lost. Guy Goldberg lost his final match.
That is what they do. It's a typical farewell. They tap out and lose their last match.
It's exactly. And I think the image I'm going to remember is obviously the guys, they leave their stuff in the ring. John Cena left his sneakers, his armband, all that stuff in the ring, and everybody had left. And there was one guy that actually stayed at ringside and looked, and that was Cody Rhodes. And my thought process is, who's one of the faces of the WWE right now? And that's Cody Rhodes. And it's almost like Cody Rhodes had a rivalry with John Cena. It's the passing of the torch, I think, kind of when you look at it that way. But I love what John Cena did, and we'll end it with this. And we have a lot to get to. What John Cena did was he didn't want to make Saturday night's main event about him. He actually wanted all the kids from NXT, the developmental territory for the WWE, all get opportunities on the card to wrestle. So a lot of wrestlers on NXT got to wrestle that night because John Cena looked at it as, hey, how did I get my opportunity? I showed up to SmackDown one day and I faced Kurt Angle. And Kurt Angle literally said to him, who the hell are you? And then John Cena goes, I'm John Cena. And that was like just a takeoff. And John Cena will forever leave a mark in a very positive and a great way in professional wrestling. I know some people, like I said, might get into the whole political aspect. I know Hulk Hogan's had his issues. Other things have had their issues with how people have left. Vince McMahon's had his issues. John Cena has left this in a very – I think John Cena left this place better than he found it. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the nice thing. And one quote John Cena said was at the end, he said, and it was a quote that stuck out to me, and I saw it, he said, "Every day the sun will always set. You have to ask yourself, did I earn the sunset at the end of the day? Did I work hard enough to earn the sunset?" And for me, I think that really sticks out. And I think to John Cena, a wonderful career, a great career, to be able to be at his first ever WrestleMania match, the full circle now. It was crazy. It really is. But he's not going to be there anymore. I mean, he'll be in the Hall of Fame next year and do all that. But no more wrestling. John Cena's done. His dates are up. And that's it. So for that, John Cena, man, legend in the sport of wrestling. I think he really is. He left his mark. He was never the greatest wrestler. We know that, but he was good. But now we get into the juicy stuff now. And we'll start with the NBA in-season tournament. I know everybody's talking about it. The Knicks won it. And we start tonight, Karl Anthony Towns, Mitchell Robinson, and Josh Hart. All of them are not playing tonight. OG Anunoby actually is going to play tonight. The other three are not. We'll see how long Anunoby actually plays for. And the question has been, is this tournament meaningful, number one? And two, should the Knicks have put a banner up? To me, is the tournament meaningful? To me, it means nothing. It was cool to see. I would rather have seen them play OKC so we could kind of get a measuring stick of where they are. I mean, I know Detroit's the number one seed right now. I think the Knicks are by far the best team in the East. And I was screaming this I was chomping at this last year. I wanted Tyler Kolek to play more minutes. Thibodeau won't give it to him.
Oh, God, he finally had a good game. Give me a break.
He's had a good hold on.
He's had a good series.
Hold on. No.
But he's been terrible.
No, he's had a good few weeks since
he's come
back, and they put him back in the rotation.
Right. So he's earned it. But he's been horrible.
He's learned it.
It's fine. I'm not arguing.
He has been. Listen, he led the country in assists when he was drafted.
Yeah. When he became.
But to me, I view it as if Kolek continues to develop and perform at the way he's performing, this is a massive, coup for the Knicks now, because I've heard
it leaves Brunson. It lets Brunson move without the ball. It's great.
Yeah, because I've heard reports they're interested in Jose Alvarado, the point guard from the Pelicans. I've heard they're interested in Dante DiVincenzo reunion.
Stop.
But I think Alvarado would be a good get. Alvarado you can have. I think you can get him. But again, because if they want to acquire somebody, they're going to have to trade either Dottier or Kolek, and they're not going to trade Kolek. I can tell you that. They don't play Dottier at all. They're going to trade him. That's the guy they're going to trade.
Can I talk about the tournament for a second?
Yeah, go for it.
Since you said it, I just want to say it's not meaningful in the grand scheme of the season, but it's meaningful in that all those games, all those teams played as hard as they could to win those games. There was no stars resting on those games. So you might argue that, it's not the most important thing to win, but it is meaningful in the sense that these guys played solid basketball to get to where they were, and it shouldn't be undervalued. It wasn't meaningful in that they didn't win a championship, and I wouldn't hang a banner over it, but I think the tournament's incredibly entertaining. in a sport where very few teams play as hard as they can during the regular season, it's great to watch games that teams are really going out there full bore to win these games. And there's money involved.
Now, what my question is, you don't have to hang a banner at MSG. That's totally fine. What if you hang it in like the practice facility? What if you do that?
Fine, yeah, that's
fine. I think this is more of Dolan sticking it to Silver because they hate each other. Because if you notice, every owner has gone up there with the trophy. And Dolan did not. I will say, if the Knicks win the finals, boy, that would be entertaining to see Silver give the trophy to James Dolan. That would be the most awkward.
If they beat OKC, that would be something.
Well, that's why I wanted to see them play OKC, because San Antonio is a good team, but they're not OKC. But they beat OKC, and
Right.
I mean, I think, they had Iman Shumpert, NBA analyst, the other day, say this on a podcast the other day. He said, I think the only team that can match well with OKC is the Knicks, because of their defensive prowess can stop what they're doing. But the big thing he said, that what Shumpert said was, if you see how Karl Anthony Towns has been playing defense the last week and a half, that's a game changer for them, because if that's how he's going to be locked in, how with Bridges, Anunoby, and Hart, and Robinson, how is anybody going to score on this team? That's and again, if they somehow, I don't know if it'll happen, but if they somehow traded for like a DiVincenzo, well, then how do you?
Yeah.
That's what I said. I said if it did.
Yes.
He's one of the best perimeter defensive guards in the league too. That's another guy that you have defensively. So how do you stop that? But the interesting thing was, and I actually did not know this, and I said this for the last 2 years. I said OG Anunoby, to me, when healthy, and if he could be just more consistent, could be so much like Kawhi Leonard. And I didn't know this during the offseason. Dirk said during the broadcast, him and actually Anunoby reached out to him, and they got together during the offseason to work on his form and his footwork. And Dirk worked with Anunoby. To me, I thought that was fascinating, because I didn't know that was a thing. And if you're going to learn from somebody, learn from one of the best shooters in the game, right? In Dirk.
He's a difference maker on the team.
Anunoby. I mean, every time Anunoby, I've gotten to the point with Anunoby, every time the ball leaves his hands, I think it's going to go in every single time.
Well, his corner from he's on the corner. When his corner threes are just like golden. He shoots from the corners. That's his shot.
And then Brunson did great. Brunson did his thing.
They played great. It was a great game. They actually played great.
And that was without two of their key. That's without two of their key rotational pieces in McBride and Shamet. They didn't even have McBride and Shamet playing.
Right.
Because you have to remember, before Shamet got hurt, Shamet was playing really well defensively and shooting a really good three. And McBride is a very good defensive guard who when he gets hot, his mid-range jumper is very good. Those two will be back by the end of the month, hopefully. But I said this too. When they signed Jordan Clarkson, that was such a huge get for this team.
Yeah, it was a good get.
You have a guy that is now automatic coming off the bench that will give you 15 to 20. They just didn't have that last year.
He's good. He's solid. He's very solid.
Yeah, they didn't have that guy. And by the way, and the thing is, it's December 15th now. They could trade guys. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if they traded like Yabusele. They might trade Yabusele. They might trade him because he stinks. He's not even in the rotation right now. Maybe they'll find a better piece. They feel, because he was supposed to be the third front man behind Robinson and Towns, and he's been awful. He can't do anything.
Right.
But to me, I thought it was an entertaining game.
It was a great game.
I know Detroit's the number one seed. I really, I'm not saying I'm a Knicks fan. I really, but if you're going head to head, the Knicks are they have more depth than Detroit does. That's
I
just
don't
the
want that,
reality.
but Detroit's a gritty team. They were tough last year. The coaching
Yeah, they
staff's
were. They were
great.
tough last year, but that's the thing, though. I think what you're seeing is Mike Brown doing something that Tibbs did not do, and that was have trust in everybody. He's trusting everybody. Like
Yep.
when Shaman and McBride come back, like Kolek's going to stay in the rotation. So you're going to have an 11-man rotation. And that's the problem. Thibodeau did not trust everybody. He didn't.
Right.
He had no
He had a very short bench.
He had two guys.
Yep.
He had
That's
Payne
right.
and he had McBride. And that was when after a while. And then he started using
But
Shaman
Kolek was bad last year. I mean, Kolek was not a good player.
But that's the thing, though. He doesn't let guys develop. Listen,
Yeah, I
if Tibbs
understand.
came back this year, if Thibodeau came back this year, he's not playing Kolek. He's not playing Shamet. He's not doing that. He's not doing it. How many games did I have to watch Cameron Payne give me 5 minutes and shoot bricks for 5 minutes and be like, this is killing this team right now? And then as bad, like DeLon Wright, who I like, he couldn't shoot, but he could play really good defense, and he was a good penetrator with the basketball. And then you had Shamet, who we found out was a really good defensive perimeter guard that could shoot the three, but he used him in a series where the Pacers were up 3-1 at that point. And I'm just like, whoa, it's too late, man. You did what you did. It's done. And that's after that Pacers series, it's not because the Knicks won the tournament. I said, you remember, I said it last year, I said the Knicks have to go a different route. Because I said you can't win in this league because I said
the bench was too short. You're right. Yep.
He's not even coaching. No, but he's not even coaching. This isn't coaching.
You're
not coaching when you use 7 guys on a bench.
Well, he's coaching, but he's just coaching a short bench, and he's a defensive coach. That's it. He wins by playing defense. That's what he does.
Speedy,
he shortens the game.
Speedy, pop in for a second. I just got to go. I left my charger. Let's pop in for a second and have the conversation really quickly. Go. Pop in.
What the heck? This is unprofessional. Is it just me?
Well, he's had some technical difficulties all night. The Knicks, they're looking really good right now. I know you mentioned that obviously, the cup is not really that meaningful, like of an award type thing, but it's good to see some of the players, like you were saying before, compete. Like they're finally quality competition there, and I think that's what you were kind of hinting at with like the 4 teams that were left.
Yeah, I think the 4 teams that were left played hard, and it is interesting that OKC, they did lose to San Antonio. That's not a small detail for a very young team like San Antonio. Like San Antonio, by the end of the year, might be a hard out in the playoffs. So I wouldn't be surprised if the OKC San Antonio series, if it comes to that, I don't see a lot of. I mean, there's good teams in the West, but I don't see a lot of, high quality teams in the West. So I think
top heavy league as it is already. Yeah, it looks like we got Josh back.
Yeah, I just think it's gonna be interesting. I wouldn't be surprised if San Antonio takes OKC to 6.
All right, sorry about that. I'm back. I didn't realize the battery could go from 46 to 24 on a Mac Pro that like in like 20 minutes. That's crazy. By the way, did you really quickly before we get to the baseball? Did you see this? I sent the text that Wandy Essien, the number 2 overall international prospect, has opted out of his contract with the Yankees and has agreed to sign with the New York Mets for $3.8 million. Yeah.
I did not see that. This is where the Mets are really making hay on their international signings the last 2-3 years.
Well, they got Pena. Remember, they paid Pena like a record deal. What was it like, Speedy? What was it like 5.8? They paid Elian Pena last year. I think it was like $6 million they paid him.
Wow, that's a real black mark on Omar Minaya. I mean, he's a Yankee guy. So Omar is usually golden on international prospects, but that's pretty shocking.
We'll get to the Mets now, and I know, Dad, you have a different take on it. than Speedy and I probably would.
I always do.
Yeah, I know.
That's right, guy with
Well,
sense. Guy with sense.
Yeah. It's guy with sense. Okay. So Edwin Diaz, Dodgers, Pete Alonso, Orioles. I think it was surprising. Yes. I think the things that are coming out now is that Diaz gave the Mets an opportunity to match or do better with the deal, and the Mets didn't want to. And the Mets said, you know what, we're just going to sign all the Yankee relievers from last year, except for Mark Leiter Jr.
That's so stupid. Like,
no,
you know what I had? Is Devin Williams really a Yankee? I mean, is like Juan Soto really a Yankee? I mean, come on. They were just passing through on their free agent year. It's so silly.
I just thought that.
I was surprised. I will say this. I'm not surprised about that. I knew Alonso was gone. Like I said, Alonso was gone for a while. The Nimmo trade caught me by surprise, but it always made perfect sense to me that this team there was issues in the clubhouse. I've been saying this for over a year to you guys, that I always see issues with this clubhouse. This team does not mesh well. And I always felt it was these three guys. It was Nimmo, Alonso, and McNeil. They were on this team before all this conversion. Then all of a sudden, Francisco Lindor comes in, and that's where you got the battle. You have these three guys saying, this is our team. We're the guys that are taking over after.
Really quickly, the Knicks starters tonight are Brunson, Diawara, Anunoby, Bridges, and Alcordy. So the Knicks are going to have fun.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
They're going to have fun. Well, I said, Rob. Well, no, they're playing the Pacers. Pacers stink.
I know, but you still got to have a team.
Well, again, no Robinson, no Hart, and no Towns.
They're on the road, aren't they? On the road.
Yeah, but they're playing. They should beat the Pacers.
They're playing in the end.
They'll be fine. Give a break.
Okay, but so basically, this is now wiping this out. Those guys all thought they were going to take the mantle after David Wright left. Then Lindor comes in, and that's when all this stuff happens. And it sort of happened so fast. It happened between McNeil and Lindor. Then they brought Baez in, and that caused this whole thing. And the ramifications just stuck with this team. And so there was a choice, and the decision was made, obviously, that this is now Lindor and Soto's team. Done. We're getting rid of all these guys. And I'm sure they're doing everything they can to get rid of McNeil right now. So, yeah, I think it makes perfect sense. You can argue whether they're going to be a better team or not.
The Braves made a 5-year offer to Edwin Diaz. He said no.
Yeah, fine. It just goes to show you how messed up it was, that how easy it was to get for guys to leave the team. You know what I mean? Like Edwin Diaz is like, oh, I would have came back if the Mets would have topped the offer. Like, if you like the team you're playing on, why do I have to be the highest bidder? You know what I mean? He should have stayed with the Mets, and he should have said to the Dodgers, I would have went to the Dodgers if you would have topped the offer by $6 million. No, he went to the Dodgers because he wanted to be a Dodger.
Speedy, what were your thoughts when the Mets lost Alonso and Diaz? Were you in shock? Were you upset? Were you angry? Were you annoyed?
I was a bit with Alonso. Yeah, well, yeah, they've replaced that right now with Jorge Polanco, who's a streaky hitter throughout his career. He had a good year last year, and he was good in the playoffs. Obviously, he had the big grand slam. I think that was the highlight of it. And 2021, I believe it was, with the Twins, had a really good year too. So there's potential for that kind of thing. He's just notoriously streaky in his career. I don't like that they got rid of Alonso. I wasn't crazy about Diaz's first contract, so I'm kind of indifferent on him. It just, can the Mets get the production of the depth of the bullpen's always been their issue.
What if they trade for Mason Miller?
Oh, they're not trading for Mason Miller.
Mason Miller, yeah, we talked about it.
Well, I said if you do that, I guess that's how you that's how you get over the Edwin. That's how you get over the Edwin Diaz loss.
Do you think it's impossible that Devin Williams has a better year as a closer than Edwin
I didn't say that.
Diaz?
That's not what I said.
No, but everybody is so like Devin Williams sucks.
I mean, I think my opinion is one of the things. I think they're going to try to get one of the Japanese players, Murakami. I think Murakami is going to be one of the guys, or Okinawa or whatever, one of those guys. I think, and they're all in on Bellinger. I mean, that's what they are.
They're running on Bellinger. I don't think they mind playing Vientos at first.
Oh, they're trading Vientos. Vientos not going to be here.
I don't think so. I think he's a starting first baseman.
He's not. Polanco's probably going to be, which I'm so confused.
Let me ask you a question. Which trio do you think they will hit more home runs if they have Vientos, Simeon, and Polanco in the lineup than they did this year? Who would they hit more home runs this year or last year with Alonso? With these three guys, Simeon, Polanco.
Well, I have to see I don't know what Simeon's getting. I mean, Simeon had his worst offensive year of his career last year.
I'm just asking you a flat out question. I'm not telling you. I know you don't know the answer. Okay.
I don't know. I mean,
I think they're spreading it out. They're spreading the home runs out across the lineup, and they will get. I think it's kind of funny. I looked this up, and I was shocked that Polanco stats were basically the same as Bellinger's and Tucker.
Well, hold on. My
they're saying for last year.
Wait. So hold on. My thinking is this, and you can tell me if I'm wrong or whatever. Like, and this is fine. David Stern says he talks about run prevent. I know we have to get to the NFL and stuff in the college football playoff. David Stearns talks about run prevention.
Right.
Well, he signs Polanco, who Stearns then starts it with saying he'll be a first baseman.
He's not a first baseman.
Like, he's played.
Nobody said he's going to be the first baseman.
I said, they got to get a first baseman, and I said to you, Murakami.
Vientos is right now the first baseman. Vientos right now is the first baseman.
They're going to trade him. They will trade him. He's not going to be here. He will not be here. He will not be here. He will not be here. McNeil will not be here. It's going to be Bellinger or Tucker. It's going to be Bellinger or Tucker, is what I think they're going to do. I think they're going to try to trade for a starting pitcher.
They're not getting Tucker.
They're still, for some weird reason, they're still in on Robert. I don't know why. They really want Luis Robert. I don't know why. It makes no sense to me.
Well, they could put Bellinger in left. Robert in center. And I think it was a mistake anyway.
Robert stinks.
I know. I think the mistake I don't know. I think eventually you have to say either Jet Williams or Carson Bench has to have a position on this team. You can't just keep getting guys. I think eventually, I understand if you get Bellinger and you put him in left and you put Benj or Williams in center, that's cool. But if you just keep filling up the whole outfield, I think there's two open outfield slots. I think one of them is going to go to the rookies. And I think the first base is going to go to Vientos. That's what I predict. I think less is going to be done with the starting pitching than people think. I don't think they're getting like a big starter. This whole Skubal thing is like ridiculous. It's not going to happen.
Well, I said if they're going to get Skubal, I think it would be in free agency because I mean that's just what they're going to do because next year you're going to have Skubal, Gossman, Alcantara, Freddie Peralta, all these pitchers, Corbin Burns, Woodruff, all these pitchers are going to be available next year. I think they're going to want to go that route, but we'll see. I know we got to get college football playoff quickly. Did Notre Dame get screwed?
Oh, please.
Yay or nay? That's what I said. Oh, please. I said,
I'm worried about the 12th ranked team didn't get in. Oh, my God.
Speedy also knows I hate Notre Dame. I don't like them. I found out yesterday there was a game tomorrow, or Friday, I should say, which is tomorrow. It's probably one of the best games, which is Oklahoma, Alabama. Probably next is Saturday, which is, I think I said A&M Miami. Who do you think is going to win the national championship? I'm sticking with Indiana. I think the Indiana defense Indiana impressed me.
I'm going to go Ohio State.
Whoa.
Oh, I shouldn't have done it?
No, hold on. No, it's fine. Ohio State. Speedy, who didn't I pick Georgia? Who did I pick for the season? Do you remember who it was I picked to win the national championship before the year, Speedy? It was Georgia.
Yikes.
I guess I can't get off Georgia now, right? That's kind of bandwagoning.
Well, they're in it, so they're not going to win it. But
all right, I guess. I mean, I don't think they're going to win it, but I'll stick with Georgia. Well, they did mollywop Alabama 2 weeks ago. I mean, that was.
Let me ask you, why is every year, it used to be when it was 4 teams, we used to say, oh, the 5th team got jobbed because they didn't make the playoffs. Now we have 12 teams in the playoffs.
Well, they're going to add.
So we're saying the 13th ranked team got jobbed because they didn't get in the playoffs? Like, who cares if Notre Dame makes it as the 12th seed or doesn't make it at all? I mean, as a 12th seed, you're not going to win it anyway. Like, Notre Dame blows it every stinking season they get in. They're terrible. The most overrated program. I'm sorry, I ranted.
No, it's fine. I'm just trying
I just feel that they get
I'm just trying to search up stats for the playoff. That's what I was trying to do.
Does any team get more of a benefit of the doubt than Notre Dame?
Of course. I thought the whole I'm going to take my ball and go home thing by them, which was silly. Not to take a bowl game. That was silly. That was a little petty. But really quickly, we're going to get into the end. I know we got NFL time now.
You see, we're speeding through this because of your battery on your computer. You see what happened? You messed up the whole show rhythm.
No, listen. We're still having a good show. It's a good show.
I know, but the rhythm, I think.
But so wait, you said Ohio State, but who's Ohio State going to play, though? So you think Ohio State's winning the whole – I don't know. Indiana did a good job against them off defensively, though.
I don't –
Oh, see now Chrome's trying to –
they're going to play.
Funny. Yeah.
I don't know if Indiana can carry it through 3 straight games against teams that good to get to the finals. I'm not sure. I do think Ohio State has the horses to get there, though. I'm not saying the loss to Indiana was a fluke. It was shocking to me that they lost to Indiana like that, but I don't think that Indiana could beat them twice.
Well, that's the thing. I think Indiana, that was what it was. It was the fact that it wasn't even just Mendoza. First off, Mendoza should be the number 1 pick after taking that hit that he took the first play of the game and then got back in 2 plays later. To me, I said right away, that's the guy you want. That's the guy you want on your team. That's
won him the Heisman Trophy. He won the Heisman Trophy.
He gets leveled. First play of the game, oh God, it's done. 2 plays later, he's back out there. And he made on the 3rd and 18 when they were winning the game by 3, made the deep pass for 24 yards to ice the game. And I said, that's the guy. That's the guy. And I hope the Giants have the number 1 pick so the Jets could try to trade up for him. Because I know if the Raiders have the number 1 pick, they're not trading him. The Raiders are going to take him. And it's going to stink. I mean, and then what you'll do is the Jets then next year, what you do with the Jets that you build around the team and you have the horses to trade up for next year, which will probably be Manning. Will probably be the number 1 guy next year. So then you trade up for Manning. But it's a matter, I mean, we're like about Mendoza is he's 6'5", smart, humble kid, does well with the media. But the big thing that he does is he turned a program that had absolutely no business ever being good at football and is now the number 1 team in the country.
Well, the coach is phenomenal.
And that to me. Oh, Cignetti is great.
Yeah.
But to me, but you have Mendoza has transformed.
I understand, but I would. So you say if the Jets had the 3rd pick, you wouldn't draft a quarterback? I mean, what are you going to do?
No,
you wouldn't.
Because No, because you're reaching at that point.
The
Dante
third
Moore.
pick?
No, yep, because after that, Speedy will tell you, Dante Moore, all those guys, they are no. I wouldn't
Oh my
touch them.
God.
I would not touch them. What
Let me
I would
tell
do
you
is I would
something.
build. No, I would build around the team. Build with the picks you have. No, seriously, this is why
You're
because
such a
teams
Jet
reach on
fan.
No, yeah, right. The Jets want a quarterback. Period. They don't care who it is. I'm saying I want to build around the offense, and then what you could do is if
You're
I
talking
could,
about like
if
cheerleaders and stuff? I mean, what are you talking about? I don't even know what you're
I'm talking
saying.
I'm talking wide receiver. I'm talking a tight end, or a running back. Get that in, and then next year you could go and you take an Arch Manning. You go that route.
So basically,
you do that.
you have to be the worst team in the league either this
you're
year
gonna
or next year.
To me, it's
And
Mendoza.
what if you're not? So you wasted 2 years. You sucked for 2 straight years.
No,
and if you're not the
because
worst
here's
team,
the difference.
what?
Here's the difference because the Jets next year will have 3 first-round picks. So you forget that.
Yeah, but if none of them are the first pick.
No, but what I'm saying is they'll have the I'm going to get that number 1 overall pick next year, depending on who the team is. That's the problem. The Raiders, the Raiders play the Giants in 2 weeks, and the Giants are probably going to win, and the Raiders are going to get the number 1 pick. And if the Raiders get the number 1 pick, they're not trading that pick. It's over. And to me, I don't think.
I don't agree with any of this.
That's fine. You don't have to. It's okay.
I mean, Jordan Love was the 26th pick. I mean,
I agree,
freaking what's the name of Buffalo's the 11th pick? I mean, scout.
I think here's the yes. I know. Well, listen. We'll see what they do, but it is now. By the way, you're a Packer fan.
Yeah, you want to talk about this? He doesn't know. He doesn't care.
He had Pete Alonso leave the same week. Michael Parsons towards the coach. But let me ask you this question: is the Packers Super Bowl dream dead for the rest of the year with this injury?
Dead? No, I don't think the NFC is all that good.
That's 13 sacks they lost. That's 13 sacks they
I understand. I'm not arguing. I don't think they're nearly as good a team as they are without, unless they're driven emotionally and overachieve for the last 3 weeks and say, look, we're going to pick up the slack and all of a sudden raise their level of play, which is possible. But right now, I mean, they're not the favorites anymore. Let's face it, they would have beat Denver if these things didn't happen. I mean, their best receiver got hurt, and then Parsons got hurt. They were winning by 10 points, and all of a sudden they lost the game. So do I think they're the favorites, though? Do I think they can still get out of the NFC? Yes. I don't like the NFL this year. I don't think there's any really good teams. You want to say the Rams are the best team? Fine.
Well, we'll see tonight. I mean, I think the Rams are. I don't trust Darnold. He's like a pumpkin in big spots. He just
you love it. You just love it. You can't stand the fact that you.
I wanted to keep. No, I wanted to keep him. I didn't want Zach Wilson. I wanted them to keep Darnold and trade the pick for a haul. And I remember when I took that. Speedy remembers when I did the loudmouths with Arrow and him. We had the BYU guy. Speedy, do you not remember when I got into the argument with one of the BYU reporters after he said, "Oh, this kid's going to handle New York," and I said, "This kid's going to fold." He's not going to. Do you remember I got into the argument with the guy? I said, "You think this kid's going to handle New York?" He's a kid from Utah playing at a small school he's barely 6'1", and you think he's going to be good. And I remember Errol was like, "Yeah." The reporter was like, "Yeah." And I said, "You guys are you're nuts."
Well, the Jets are a media-driven team. Everything the Jets do is driven by media. They fire the coaches because of the media. They draft quarterbacks because of the media. They make them instantaneous starters because of the media, and then they get rid of them.
And then we heard about that, and we saw the Patrick Mahomes injury, so he's done. No Chiefs this year, which is wild to think about. Thank God.
They're done as a team. You're done.
Speedy, I know we have a hard 7-10. How many games do you want to do this week? You want to do 2 games quickly?
All right. Yeah, do tonight's game. We'll start with that. The Rams and the Seahawks. Seahawks are actually 1.5 point favorites at home. We'll start there.
Oh, they're home. I guess that. Oh no.
Yeah, Seattle's home.
I'm gonna go with the Rams still. I mean, they almost lost to Phillip Rivers and the Colts last week. The Seahawks. I mean,
But that was a
just-
trap game. That's a trap game.
Oh God, come on, dude. That was hard.
It's a trap game.
But Darnold needs to play. Darnold to me in a big spot needs to do better.
I'm not
Until he
arguing. I'm
does it
just
in a
saying
big
last
game,
week's Rams game was a trap game.
Okay. So I'm
Yeah.
I'm going with the Rams.
I'm gonna go Rams too.
Okay.
All right, and
Last one, Speedy.
let's do. We did Packers Bears last time, so I'll find something else. Let's go for. Yeah, we'll go for the Patriots and the Ravens. The Ravens are actually 3-point favorites at home.
What is the game? Ravens who?
It's at the Ravens.
Ravens Patriots? Is that what it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Patriots are at the Ravens. Yeah. Patriots are favorite. Ravens are favorite at home. You said.
Yep, by 3.
Man,
I'm
nobody's
going
believing
first.
in the Patriots.
I
That's
believe in the
fine.
Patriots. I'm taking
They did good
Patriots.
last week. Well, they
I
did
don't
good
believe
last
in the
week.
Ravens.
You right?
I don't believe in the Ravens.
To me, yeah, I don't believe in the Patriots. I think last week's game is kind of they're not ready yet. They'll get there, but they're not there yet. To lead 21-0 at home and to lose,
And that's all right.
you can't.
That's a lesson.
You can't do that.
That's a
Yeah, it's a
lesson.
bad lesson. Against a division rival it's a bad lesson against a division rival. It's not the week to do it. You want to do it against the Ravens or you're the Broncos, that's one thing. So I'm gonna go Ravens in this one. We'll see. I think the AFC North is horrible. But that is it for our show. I know we have a hard stop right now. Dad, anything before you go? You want to say anything?
No, I just hope everybody has a happy holiday and New Year. And if Eric comes back, thanks for the fun. It was a lot of fun. And if not, we'll do it again.
There you go, man. Well, we'd love to have you on annually anyway, so get yourself ready. This is
Yeah,
gonna be-
annual. That's once a year. Annually is once a year. Once a year.
Yeah. Speedy, I know you have to get ready to job in the mouth. So we'll let you get situated for that. Thank you to the fans out there, first off, for listening and watching us throughout the whole year. This was a great year, from the trade deadline episode to all the guests we've had to, I know we've had some ups and downs with the coming in, coming out, who's in, who's out. But listen, we got through it. It was a great show. Dad, I want to thank you so much for stepping in. I know this was a lot. We appreciate it. Of course, we hope Eric is healthy. Everything. Speedy, thank you for everything that you do, of course, and for all the work and time you put in. We appreciate it always. I always say this Speedy is the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. He is the network. He does a lot of stuff. He knows that. I tell him that all the time.
And he's the smartest sports guy I know.
He is the smartest sports guy.
He is the
That's
best.
a compliment.
He is the brightest stats guy. The stats guy he is.
Yeah, that's why we call him Mr. Analytics. So that's check us out on worldwidesportsradio.com, YouTube, Instagram, Periscope, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. To everybody out there, families, friends, loved ones, thank you to all the fans out there for everything. We appreciate you. Have a happy and healthy holiday. Okay, whether you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, everything. Be safe. Enjoy the time with your family and friends and loved ones. Speedy, enjoy your time with your family and loved ones. Thank you. Appreciate it. I know I'll see you during the holidays. We know that. So Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, and of course a Happy New Year. Be safe out there. Enjoy your time. And we will see you in 2026, everybody. This has been Game On Live for the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Coming up next is Jabba and the Mouth. Take care and have a good rest of your week, everybody.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
This is Mario.